So Prime Minister Modi has taken it upon himself to smash the anti-India brigade out of the park. Namaste, आप सभी को राम नवमी की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. Let's begin this video report. Going into the election year, the opposition has been projecting itself as the victim of PM Modi's governance style. On the political front, they have been amplifying the claim that PM Modi is making unsustainable attacks on the Indian democracy. The fight has also reached the courtroom. 14 opposition parties have jointly filed a petition with the Supreme Court of India. In their petition, they have alleged that the BJP is misusing central agencies to frame false cases against them. However, the hue and cry of the death of democracy was recently put to death by Prime Minister Modi on two different platforms. With his relentless attacks, he punctured several holes in the opposition's claim. So here are the key highlights of PM Modi's two speeches. The first was while addressing party members, and the second was the virtual address given at the Second Democracy Summit co-hosted by US President Joe Biden. PM Modi recently addressed BJP party workers at the inauguration of the new extension of the party headquarters in New Delhi. In his address, Prime Minister Modi launched a scathing attack against Congress and other opposition parties. He lashed out at these parties that have been targeting the Modi government in parliament. Prime Minister Modi claimed that constitutional institutions like courts are India's strong foundation, and these are under attack by anti-India forces both from inside and outside the country. Without mincing his words, PM Modi stated that a campaign is on to defame these institutions and tarnish their credibility. Prime Minister Modi said today, when India is on its way to realizing its full potential, it is doing so on the basis of a strong foundation. That foundation is our constitutional institutions. That is why, to stop India in its growth trajectory, this foundation is being attacked and efforts are being made to defame them by forces within and outside the country. A campaign is on to defame these institutions. Their credibility is being sought to be destroyed. Taking a dig at the opposition parties, Prime Minister Modi claimed that whenever investigative and enforcement agencies act against those wrapped in corruption, these agencies are attacked. And now they start raising questions against even the courts. Hitting out at the supposed unity among the opposition parties, Prime Minister Modi highlighted that his rivals have come together and have launched Bhrashtachari Bachao Abhiyan to protect the corrupt. He made it categorically clear that the agencies won't stop by such false allegations and will keep taking actions against corrupt politicians as well as corrupt officials. While doing it, Prime Minister Modi also reminded party workers that the Congress party tried its bit to put him behind bars but failed miserably. PM Modi said during Congress rule, our banks were looted and their employees fled the country. All those deep in corruption are coming together on one stage. Some parties have started Bhrashtachari Bachao Abhiyan. We will not bow down to the false allegations by the opposition. Many attempts were made to uproot the BJP, but all failed. They tried a lot to put me behind bars, but failed every time. Further, Prime Minister Modi praised the legal and investigative measures taken by courts and law enforcement agencies against politicians who are suspected of corruption charges. To substantiate his claims, Prime Minister Modi gave numbers to compare the agencies' actions during the UPA and NDA era. Prime Minister Modi remarked that during the UPA's 2004 to 2014 rule, assets worth Rs 5,000 crore were seized under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This figure rose to 1.1 lakh crore in just 9 years of the Modi government. Similarly, as compared to earlier, over twice the number of cases have been registered under the PMLA. Further, he added that banks were robbed of Rs 22,000 crore during the previous Congress governments. Many of the bank fraudsters fled to foreign countries. However, the BJP government has been holding these scammers to account. The property of these scammers has been confiscated, which amounts to about Rs 20,000 crores. Prime Minister Modi stated that every Indian understands that the country will progress only when corruption is defeated. However, there will be some people who are bound to get angry when the government acts against corruption. This is why the opposition parties are coming together to form Bhrashtachari Bachao Abhiyan. Notably, this was a direct jibe at the Loktantra Bachao Mashal Shanti March that the Congress party recently undertook to protest against the Modi government. Highlighting the contrast, Amit Shah attacked the Congress for falsely accusing the BJP government of misusing central agencies. He claimed that it was the Congress that misused agencies to implicate then Gujarat Chief Minister Narendra Modi, which was also rigged up by Prime Minister Modi himself. Union Home Minister Amit Shah claimed that the CBI was putting pressure on him to frame Modi ji in an alleged fake encounter case during the Congress government. But unlike Congress and other opposition parties, it didn't claim that democracy is dead in India, but rather proved his innocence through a long-drawn judicial process. Prime Minister Modi complimented the party's growth trajectory and emphasized how it increased from 2 seats in its first general elections to over 300 seats in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. He claimed that during the 1984 elections, the BJP was all but destroyed. Yet, despite this, the party never gave up or lost its spirit. He stated that from 2 seats in 1984, the BJP has now reached 303 seats in 2019. In many regions, the party garners over 50% of the vote share. Prime Minister Modi added that the BJP is the only pan-Indian party with roots from south to north, east to west. He further added that the BJP is not only the world's biggest but also the most futuristic party. He added that the BJP is not the party that came from TV screen or newspapers, neither did it come from Twitter handles or YouTube channels. He claimed that the BJP progressed on the basis of the hard work of its workers. He also stated that experts have to examine the governance structures used by different political parties and ideologies. Prime Minister Modi appreciated the party's comeback post the 1984 debacle to draw a stark parallel with Congress's anti-democracy ranting. Prime Minister Modi said, "The country can never forget that black chapter of 1984. In those elections, Congress got a historic mandate in an emotionally charged atmosphere. We were completely destroyed in that way, but we were not demoralized and did not blame others." Prime Minister Modi's attack against the opposition party was not limited to one event alone. When the opposition was pleading before the foreign players to support them in their fight against the Modi government, Prime Minister Modi hailed Indian democracy in the second Democracy Summit. Addressing the summit as the second speaker, Prime Minister Modi hailed India's democracy, calling it the collective efforts of the citizens of India. Citing Mahabharat, Prime Minister Modi emphasized that the idea of elected leaders was a common feature in ancient India long before the rest of the world. Prime Minister Modi argued that a lot of things have been said about the virtues of democracy, but let me say just this. India, despite many global challenges, is the fastest growing major economy today. Prime Minister Modi further added that this itself is the best advertisement for the democracy in the world, and it highlights that democracy can deliver. Further, Prime Minister Modi said democracy is not just a structure, but it is also spirit. It is based on the belief that the needs and aspirations of every human being are equally important. In India, our guiding philosophy is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is striving together for an inclusive growth. On back-to-back events, BJP leaders, particularly Prime Minister Modi, have been launching direct attacks against the opposition parties for defaming Indian democratic values. Be it the domestic or international platform, Prime Minister Modi smashed his opposition's claim and falsehoods out of the ground. Just like the Tukde Tukde gang, he is now openly criticizing, naming and shaming the anti-India forces that are working from India and even outside it.